We have an important matchup made for the UFC 290 card in July. This is a title eliminator match for the middleweight division. It's super important. We'll see what happens here. Even though Adesanya does say he won to Dricus Du Plessis, this matchup being made, it might be a little bit of an issue for Adesanya in general, because I'm just going to be honest, Robert Whittaker is an absolute beast in the middleweight division. Some people could arguably say he beat Israel Adesanya in that second fight. So Robert Whittaker, probably one of the most well-rounded, if not, he is the most well-rounded person in that division. Let's be real. It's pretty much Adesanya and Whittaker at the top in that division, and then everyone else are your standard middleweights in general. So we'll see how this matchup goes. This is very dangerous for Dricus Du Plessis, though. Robert Whittaker just needs one more to get another title shot. And we'll see what happens here. A big title eliminator. I'm going to do an early prediction and breakdown for this matchup, breaking down how these guys physically match up and how I think the fight will go down. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. We have Robert Whittaker 24-6, Dricus Du Plessis 19-2. Robert Whittaker will be 3 years older here, only 32 years old still, 29 years old for Dricus Du Plessis. Dricus Du Plessis will have a 1-inch height advantage, I guess you could say. They're obviously in the 185-pound weight division. Dricus Du Plessis will have a 2.5-inch reach advantage in this matchup, and they have the same leg reach in this matchup. For Robert Whittaker, his last fight was a win over Marvin Vettori. Pretty much dominated him in that fight. It was 7 months ago, so it has been quite a while. I think he's kind of been waiting for that Pereira-Adesanya rematch to kind of happen to figure out what's next, because let's be real, Pereira would have won again. He probably would have gotten the title shot. So he pretty much destroyed Marvin Vettori, almost chinned him in that match. I wouldn't say chinned him, but almost won by KO. I was a little worried. I had a 3-round decision for Robert Whittaker in that match. I was getting kind of worried watching that, but he did lose to Israel Adesanya in that second fight. Again, some people will argue that he did win that fight, but it was super close in general. Beat Kelvin Gastelum by decision, beat Jaron Cannonier by decision, and then beat Darren Till by decision. For Dricus Du Plessis' last matchup was a crazy fight against Derek Brunson. Dricus Du Plessis has some insane fights as long as he's been in the UFC. Like, it's just the type of style fighter he is. It's just absolutely insane. But we'll see how this one goes. This could go a bunch of different ways, let's be real. But yeah, KO win over Derek Brunson. I think his corner threw in a towel. Beat Darren Till by submission, pretty much gassed out after the first round, because he just kept pounding away on Darren Till, and Darren Till was like trying to tell the ref not to stop. It was, again, very weird fights and very entertaining fights for Dricus Du Plessis. He beat Brad Tavares by decision, got pretty much beat up in that first round pretty badly, and then came back in the last couple rounds. Beat Trevin Giles by KO, and then beat Marcus Perez by KO. So Dricus Du Plessis is definitely rising up in the rankings here. Beat Darren Till, beat Derek Brunson. This is the biggest step up he's probably fought. I think Derek Brunson, what rank was Derek Brunson when he did fight Dricus Du Plessis? I don't think it was too high, but I think it was definitely up. I don't know. I'll probably just guess probably around like right outside the top 5 is my guess. I don't think Derek Brunson was top 5. Maybe it's the middleweight division. But for this matchup, I'm going to go with Robert Whittaker. I really like Dricus Du Plessis, and I do think he gets a lot of hate in general. I think a lot of people just like Whittaker. A lot of people just like Adesanya, so I guess they just hate on Dricus Du Plessis, but I think he's a very entertaining fighter. I enjoy watching him. It's just his style. He's just a very weird fighter in general, the way he throws punches. I mean, in general, I think he fixed his nose, too, so we'll see how his cardio goes. I kind of just jumped a little bit, but he has, or he at least had a nose problem where he gassed it out quite a bit. So, you'll see a Dricus Du Plessis get beat down in the first round. For some reason, the first round, he kind of goes out a little bit slower, except for if you're Darren Till. But the first round's a little weird for Dricus Du Plessis. But once the gas starts going, it's like he has this weird, backup tank in him with cardio. It's the weirdest thing ever. You can see him visually gassing out, breathing through his mouth, but he still has pretty high output. It's the weirdest thing ever. For this matchup, I'm going to go with Robert Whittaker. Maybe by finish. Dricus Du Plessis is very open on the feet. Throws very weird punches, like I said. Rushes in at certain points. He does have some very good wrestling, grappling. But I think Robert Whittaker, again, very defensively sound, very offensively sound, very strong dude. Has a lot of power in his punches. Good kicks. Robert Whittaker is probably all around the best guy in the middleweight division. So very tough matchup for Dricus. yeah, Adesanya's saying he wants that Dricus fight really badly. So we'll see if something happens to this fight or whatever and something pulls off, or like Robert Whittaker, you can get the next matchup, or if something happens, who knows at this point. But yeah, this is not good news for Dricus Du Plessis in general. Very dangerous matchup. Who knows? Maybe he rushes in there and just chins Robert Whittaker, because Robert Whittaker can be chinny at times. I think Adesanya in that second fight like barely hit him with like a jab or something, and he just went down. He's a very weird, like, he'll get hit once with like a weird punch that barely lands and he'll get dropped. Or at least just in that second Adesanya fight, it was just a very weird situation there. I know Till dropped him. He is a weirdly, I don't want to call him chinny because it seems like he only gets dropped once and then he's fine. But maybe Dricus Du Plessis can rush in there and hurt him and then just finish him on the ground. That would be insane. But I don't know. I think if you're a fan of Dricus Du Plessis, you kind of just hope that maybe he lands that lucky punch at the beginning. I wouldn't say this is middleweight. It is Dricus Du Plessis with his weird style. Maybe he lands that punch and drops him on the ground and finishes him on the ground by TKO strikes. Maybe you hope for that 1 out of 200 fights. Maybe that happens. But I think as a Dricus Du Plessis fan, you kind of just got to hope that they just go back and forth here and that this is a super competitive like war in general, because Dricus will definitely bring it. He'll definitely go forward. He'll definitely leave himself some openings for Robert Whittaker to punch. So we'll see. I'm going to keep my expectations low for this matchup, or at least for Dricus Du Plessis, and see and hope that he kind of just like gets a little bit more competitive in this matchup than I think a lot of people think will happen here. Hopefully, at least if he does lose in this matchup, he does gain like a lot of respect. Hopefully, he puts up a very good fight here. But I think Robert Whittaker is just an absolute beast in the middleweight division. I think it could end in a third round TKO, or it could end in like a dominant 30-27 decision here, or it could be a competitive matchup and it's just a straight up war. But I'm going to go Whittaker by a third round TKO. I think he just ends up catching Dricus Du Plessis. I kind of want to see what his cardio looks like at this point, especially after fixing the nose. We'll see. But yeah, I'm not that confident in Dricus. He's very open on the feet. He throws very weird punches, like nothing super technical how you would normally see a person throw punches. Does have decent wrestling. That won't really factor in here. I just think Robert Whittaker is just that damn good, especially against some of these other guys in the middleweight division. Who knows what could happen here, but I'm going to go with Robert Whittaker by a third round TKO. First round, I don't know. I think he just wins most of the rounds. Maybe the first round's pretty close. Dricus kind of just comes out with some stuff that's super unorthodox, and Robert Whittaker's kind of just not ready for it. And maybe that's why it gets super close in that first round. But I don't know. I don't know. I am a little worried about this matchup for Dricus, but I do think Whittaker does get it done in the third round TKO. I think Dricus just takes a lot of damage, gasses out a little bit more, at least from what we seen last time. If his nose fixed and it's a different cardio, and he has no cardio issues anymore, or at least visual cardio issues, then maybe it's a different story. But I am going to go with Whittaker with the third round TKO. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know who you guys think will win in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys next